Hello, this is Elaine Sugar, award-winning children's program facilitator and overall supporter of children's dreams. Welcome to the Empower Teen Self-Esteem podcast. We bring you ideas and resources that help teens shine and help ease parents' minds. I want to welcome all of our listeners to this episode of Empower Teen Self-Esteem. Today, we are going to be talking about the impact of the women in our lives on our lives. So we are going to explore that topic because sometimes we don't realize how deeply we are impacted by the people around us. And sometimes we're doing things a certain way, we're saying things a certain way, our life has developed in a certain way, and sometimes we don't make that connection. So today we're going to talk to two ladies who are expert at helping you make that connection. I want to welcome our mother-daughter duo. We have with us today Alisha and Rochelle Schwartz. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you. It's so nice to have you ask us to come on. We're so excited.
Yes, so I know these two ladies well outside of this interview, so this is really exciting for me, and this is a treat for our listeners. So why don't you first take a moment and tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Okay. So I like to start off with who I am.
Yes.
And so who I am is a mother of two beautiful daughters, a beautiful granddaughter.
Mhm.
I have been divorced. I have a huge heart. I'm compassionate. I'm committed. I basically love to journal and pray. And, you know, it's so important for me to do my practices.
Mhm.
God, I can just go on. What? Well, I'm just so into who I am. And I
that's a
could
good
go on and
thing.
on. Yeah, it is, because I think people really want to know about, who are you,
Mhm.
And I can go on and on and on, but I will stop by saying I am a coach. I've been certified with the Ford Institute in relationship coaching over 20 years. And now the next chapter of my life is with my daughter.
Oh.
And it's just such an honor. And it's a great niche market, I got to tell you, because I believe that women so need to gain their power, their voice. And I believe that it's like holding a sacred space for women so they can come back to themselves, learn to love themselves unconditionally, and to take care of themselves, which is self-care.
Wonderful.
That's me.
Thank you, Rochelle. Alisha.
Thank you.
Your floor now.
Thank you. So, like my mom, first of all, who I am is I am a aunt. I am a sister. I am a mother to a little furry animal, my little Chloe. I am also a healer.
Okay.
I am also an empath. And I am also a lover. I love too. And then, of course, what I do, like my mom, I'm certified from the Ford Institute for over 20 years in relationship coaching. And also, we're really shadow experts in shadow work. And like my mom, this is the next chapter for me too, in working, come closer, Mom.
Oh, okay.
In working with my mom, doing mother-daughter dynamic duo work with all the women in your life. That's what I do.
So
Also a massage therapist for 20 years too.
How do you have enough time?
I know. I don't know. Bodies are my thing too.
Amazing. So can you just summarize, because a lot of our teenagers may not be familiar with shadow work. Can you just give us a brief summary of what that is?
Sure. So shadow work is the things that we hide, deny, and don't want to show the world, thinking that they're bad. but they're not. They actually, and as trained experts in shadow work, we lead people in shining the light into the dark so it no longer stays dark. Find the gift. You're free. You get your power. You get your authenticity. You get all of who you are.
Wow. And what's an example of one of those shadow items that someone might be hiding thinking it's negative?
Well, for one, I know for me, I had a learning disability as a child, so I was labeled stupid.
Oh,
right? You're stupid. So I believed that I was stupid, but through the work of the shadow, I realized that stupid was a great quality because it actually showed me how to, one, ask for help, two, how to see myself and my brain in a different way. It was a creative brain. So my stupid self actually served me in actually becoming more empathic, compassionate, giving, caring, loving. Why would I hate stupid? To actually help me grow, learn, ask for help. So those are the gifts of what the shadow can do. You don't have to make it wrong. Just find the light in it. And you'll be able to use the shadow instead of the shadow using you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Right? She's a little bit talented, you think, Rochelle?
I would say, yeah, that was cool.
Yes, no, I appreciate that. And so I know that you all, when I asked you what you wanted to talk to our teens and their parents, you said you wanted to talk to them about the relationship with the women in their lives. So what things do you want them to think about, consider, realize about the women in their lives?
That what they say isn't always true. That you intuitively, we really know. But what happens is they're our teachers. So we give ourselves to listen to them thinking they know better than we do. And along the way, we lose our voice because it's our parents. It's the people that raise us. Who else are we going to listen to? Teachers. And so, but as children, we're so smart and we're so intuitive. But what happens is we give our power, and they don't realize this.
Right.
Am I correct? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think that as parents, when we don't work through our own stuff, we project it onto our kids.
Yes.
And so it's so important for parents to be conscious of those things that they adopted from generations onto the next generation, which is the children. And then the children take it on and repeat the same lessons. But if you have a conscious parent that's willing to take responsibility for their own stuff, the child has a chance of not repeating that same pattern.
Absolutely.
And belief.
That is awesome. You break the cycle, right? Which is what you call it.
Breaking the chain, breaking the cycle.
Or breaking the generational. You know, it's generational too.
Yeah.
You know, where I come from, it's different than where she came from as far as generational. Yeah. Because she broke a lot of things because of that fact that I learned and I looked at myself because of where I came from. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So it's like if my mom's generation was not having enough,
right?
I certainly could see I could take that on, but because of the work, I realized, wait a minute, that's not my belief. That's not who I am. That's not how I came in. It's not really mine. Why would I take that on? But it's only through this work, right, that you become conscious that you don't have to take on that because it's not yours.
Correct.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering and listening to you all explain this, if there are some parents right now listening to this thinking about their relationship with their mother or other women in their lives who were their teachers, maybe people that they've worked for. I'm just wondering if they're thinking to themselves, you know what? I am carrying over some things from that person's influence on me. So then my question is, if you're realizing that there's some things you need to work through, what are some things you can do?
Well, one, come to us and
Yes.
hire us as coaches to help you through that and navigate. That's
Yeah.
one.
So what
Two,
type of coaching, what type of an experience should one expect to be in for? So say I'm listening right now and I think, you know, Alisha and Rochelle are kind of touching on some things that I'm realizing that I'm vulnerable to and that I could stand to work through. If I say, you know what, let me check out their workshop. What's in store for me? What should I expect?
Well, first of all, I think that they can call us so they can feel comfortable
sure,
with
like
us,
that.
because that always helps,
we
always.
feel safe.
And the other thing is that I wanted to touch on, you know, no child came into this world with a pamphlet that a parent can follow. It just doesn't happen. So we know that in doing all this work that our parents have done the best that they can, but they can improve so many different things in their life to help their children and to help their own life. So the other thing that,
So I think also the workshop, if they were coming and saying, yeah, you know, I want to take on that workshop, what would it do for me? And I think it would give them one, awareness of themselves. What am I doing that's causing my child to act out, to not follow through, to not, the basic things that parents have to go through with their children all the time, right? So it would give them a vision, it would give them a goal, it would give them something new to see within themselves to then see their children differently. Does that make sense?
Yes. I love
forgiveness, and you know, there's a whole bunch of beliefs and thought and things that they have to see about themselves to shift within, so they could shift their relationship with their teenager.
And you know, for an example, we had somebody come in that has a 5-year-old child, but she's smart, because she said, you know what, guys, and we spoke to her privately before, and she said, you know what, I want tools that I can use as my daughter grows.
That gives me chills. That is beautiful.
It is. And then we also integrate songs and music into it.
So it gets them deeper in their bodies. They feel it.
So her little girl heard the conversation that we were having.
So cute.
And she picked up the song, and the two of them went on
Facebook.
And they sang the song.
I think it was
that
I
is
Am Love.
adorable.
I Am Love.
I Am
I
Love.
Am Love.
Oh,
And they sang it together every morning. They sing
that
it.
is beautiful.
So that's just an example. And then
they get skills and tools, right? So they can navigate their relationship, move forward again. So they can navigate their relationship with their mother, or the women in their life, or the teens that's having the problem. And because the parent will understand themselves to be able to navigate.
And I think teenagers are always trying to find their way. You know, they're trying to figure out, who am I? And it is a difficult time for a parent. It really is.
And they're also looking at the parent.
Yes.
So if the parent's conscious and aware of their own stuff, guess what? They can change the trajectory of that teenager's life big time.
Wow, I love that. So trajectory, do you want to tell us? I love that. That means you can make a big impact, but how would you describe that when you say change the trajectory?
Well, for instance, if their parent is constantly blaming their daughter, constantly blaming them for things, and the daughter's sitting there going, what the hell's the problem? Why is she blaming me? They're not quite getting, because it doesn't feel right to the teenager, right? Like, why are they complaining? Like, I'm okay. Right? They don't know this, but what's happening is that the parent is projecting onto them things that they never resolved
in their past.
past.
Gotcha.
So by cleaning that up with the parent, cleaning that up for themselves, the child will just totally, they don't have to take it on anymore. They don't, it naturally changes the trajectory of that child's life.
And
they don't take it on.
Awesome.
And the parent, when the parent becomes responsible, they say to the child or the teenager, look, I realize this is my stuff, nothing to do with you. You're You're great the way you are. You're doing amazing. Boom, they bring up their self-esteem, and boom, they soar. They don't take on an old belief.
Yep.
That's how it works.
And we had somebody else that came in. Her mother wouldn't tell her anything about her adoption, and her mother knew because she had overheard her mother a while ago, but yet she won't touch that with her anymore. In this workshop, she basically did a DNA, and she found out that she has a sister.
Wow.
And so do you know what that did to her? That freed her up.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it validated her, and I think that's what we need. We need the validation, and that's why it's so important for the parent to do the work for their teenager. If they can't do it for themselves, do it for their teenager, so they do have a different trajectory.
Nice.
So that their life is not repeated in the same old patterns and habits of their parents' past.
Well, it's actually a win-win. The child gets the benefit,
Win-win.
and then they get the benefit. So that's a win-win for certain. And it can be a little bit touchy because we're talking about things that parents need to do. And sometimes when you're a teen, you don't see eye to eye with your parents. So just in case some of our teens are listening and maybe now pointing the finger saying, see, mom, it's all you. Rochelle and Alisha said you need to go to class. So
well, that's a good excuse. That's a good excuse.
So what do we say to teenagers so that they don't take this to the point of saying, mom, it's not me, it's you. Like, I'm all right. How, what do we tell them so that we make sure this is received in the right perspective?
It takes two to tango. What I see in you is I see in me. Myself. And so there's some level of responsibility that the teenager needs to take. Manipulation, taking advantage.
Yes.
All those things need to be addressed. But it takes a conscious parent and a conscious teenager to do that, right?
Wonderful.
So it's a win-win.
Definitely.
And that's right, because that teen doesn't want to grow up to be the person who points their finger, and now they're starting to develop habits that aren't healthy. Then they have children, and now they're passing down something that's not, healthy.
It takes two to tango.
I like
it.
That.
Absolutely does. It absolutely does.
I have had the pleasure of watching your YouTube show. The chemistry between the two of you, the way you get along and play off of each other is adorable. So do you want to tell them what you've been doing on YouTube and how they can access that and see your new episode?
Go ahead, Ma. So we go on to YouTube. We have a channel. It's called the Mother-Daughter Dynamic Duo. And we do different topics, really, and different things that we've experienced ourselves. And then we help people by playing off each other and sharing.
And we have fun with it. We really have fun with it. We really do.
We share how you can move through it, basically, by what we share that day, that topic. So it's a fun thing. And we also do now on Instagram, on Coach Rochelle, we also do the best year cards.
On Sundays.
On Sundays at 4. So that helps people get, it's complimentary, and it helps people have the best year, and there's points. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun. And we do it too.
Yes,
we join them. And sometimes for me, I don't
always get the points.
Don't always get the points, but it's fun.
It's fun.
Good.
It's really fun, and people are enjoying it. They really are. So that's another thing that we do. And then our workshop.
June 17th.
June 17th. So how does someone register? So no matter where you are, they're on Zoom, so you can participate. You can sign up. So you have a space for mothers and their daughters, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And it's a 7-week workshop. They can go either onto Coach Rochelle on Instagram, and you'll see the flyer. You click, boom, and you sign up. It'll help you register and do that. And also on Facebook on Coach Rochelle.
And
those are the two places.
That for them, just so we get it.
Go ahead.
Exact.
Okay, sure. So it's Coach C. Okay, First,
Website too.
I'll give you I will. But on Instagram, it's Coach, COACH, Rochelle, which is ROCHELLE. And on Facebook, it's Rochelle Schwartz. And I also have Coach Rochelle. And then on my website, it's Rochelle, which is ROCHELLE. SCHWARTZ.com. So that's how you can contact us. And if they really want to call, it would be our pleasure. So my number is 954-464-7017.
And my number is 619-723-1759. And we do consulting too, which is part of the process too.
I really like that the person has an opportunity to call and speak with you before, if they want to, before they get on the Zoom to build that rapport. I think that's really awesome. A lot of times you just have to sign up and you're there for the first time on camera. So I love that opportunity to establish a relationship. And
And also, if in fact, for some reason, which we haven't experienced it, but if someone doesn't want to be on camera, because it is on Zoom, they don't have to be.
They could just be on audio.
It can be, without their, visually. And it's from 7 to 8:30 Eastern time. And I can promise, or we can promise, the movement and the love and the support and the sacred space and the fun that we provide is so awesome.
There's no way you can transform.
That's
no way.
No.
You will transform for sure. Guaranteed. And we don't guarantee, but we are guaranteed.
Yeah, it's just.
We've been doing this too long to know the difference.
I mean, can you imagine 40 years of coaching and knowing this work? It's powerful.
You know what I love? I love because sometimes when we think of doing the work, when we think of therapy, when we think of coaching, you might think, okay, let me bring the tissue out. There are going to be tears. And there might be sometimes, but I am so glad you all's energy is so upbeat and positive. And that's what I love about your YouTube channel is you're sitting there laughing with each other. You're it's not all one thing. And that's what I like. And then another thing I will say is I've told Rochelle this before. I'm like, listen, if Oprah called you to come on her show and coach, I think you can coach me. So for our teenagers and parents out there, if Oprah Winfrey calls you to coach and come and talk to her audience, she is not having you there because you are fly by night. So Rochelle,
true. I forgot to say that.
Done that. I won't forget it. I'm like, listen. She can help me she can help Oprah, she can help me.
It was just such a beautiful time that occurred. It really was. It's very memorable and it's in my heart forever.
That is
forever.
So wonderful. That is so wonderful. Well, you ladies, as always, it's a pleasure. And I just want our listeners to know, like, they are not, putting on a show for an interview. This is the genuineness that you receive when you interact with them. And also, I will say, you cannot be missing the passion in their voice when they talk about coaching. Like, I listen for that in people. I'm like, wait a minute, this is this person's heart. And I feel like anytime I am engaging someone or hiring someone to do something and their heart is in it, I'm like, oh yeah. This is good. So
I just want to. Yeah, we do.
We really do.
But before we end, can I read something to you that means a lot?
Yes, go right ahead.
And I know that people know this, but it just resonates so with me and Alisha. And it's people will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And we leave them with love.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what I feel from both of you. So I understand why you would want to read that, because that was perfectly the point that I'm trying to make, is the two of you obviously love what you're doing and you do it from the heart. So I think that makes all the difference in the world. So I just want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in today. I am looking for Rochelle and Alisha to let me know, hey, when this person heard your show, they reached out to us. Listen, these ladies are wonderful. This is not just for a podcast interview, even though we're doing one. This is their honest, genuine selves, which is wonderful and fun and intelligent. And I always enjoy my interactions with you both. So we are going to, yes, we are going to wrap up this episode of Empower Teen Self-Esteem. You've had some words of wisdom today that I'm sure are empowering, and you know that you can follow Rochelle and Alisha to get even more where this came from. So thank you all, and please join us for our next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Empower Teen Self-Esteem. Please follow Kids More Sugar on social media. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel to show that you support this content. And you can visit our website at kidsmoresugar.com to learn more about our free online kids program. Thank you.